The Odin 2 Pro is definitely the beefiest Android device that I've ever owned. Not only does it emulate most 6th generation console games without hiccups, it can even augment and oftentimes improve those games with customizable control schemes, shaders and textures. Always provided, there's an emulator that supports those features. I don't want to bore you with an extensive tutorial or tell you lots of things you've probably known for years. Therefore, without further ado, I'd like to present to you my very subjective, but very own list of the 9 best texture packs that I have discovered so far. Let's start off with Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker on the PSP. This texture pack comes with visually improved UI and menus. Most textures are still very low res, but pay attention to the picture of Miller's face, shown right after Snake has left the beach. It's a lot sharper than on OG hardware.
Grenades explode. You throw them, Snake. Use the L button to ready throwing weapons. Once you've readied a weapon, throw with the R button. When using throwing weapons, hold the attack button down longer to throw farther. You won't throw the weapon until you let go of the button. Good. You'll reach the objective when you clear the jungle. Head east.
Blurry menus and fonts are always unfortunate reminders that you're playing an old game, but with a modern and sharp interface, Peace Walker looks almost like an official re-release.
I gotta thank you for agreeing to this, Snake. Man, am I glad to be out of here. Finally, we can leave all that crap in San Geronimo behind. Break into the mercenary business for real. Let me guess. You're doing it for her, aren't you?
Would you believe me if I told you that this game was originally released on the Nintendo 64? What you're looking at is not the Dolphin sequel Thousand Year Door, but indeed the first Paper Mario that came out in the year 2000. This older texture pack might be a bit hard to come by. And there are also some minor bugs and missing sprites here and there. But as a proof of concept, it absolutely blew me away. What an amazing idea, to use textures and sprites from more modern incarnations of Paper Mario and implement them in the game that started it all. Here are some of the rough edges that you'll encounter while playing this augmented version of Paper Mario 64. Some of the hand-drawn sprites have transparency issues and sometimes animations will use the wrong frames. Not all characters were adjusted, and sometimes even Mario himself will appear in his older, more pixelated sprite form when a specific animation is missing. But I believe that those are very minor gripes. Sometimes it even gives this fan version more character, and it's still a very impressive achievement. Always keep in mind that a single person collected hundreds of sprites, adjusted them to fit into the game, and even drew some missing textures, if the right image couldn't be found. WipeOut has always been my favorite when it comes to future racing. If you want to experience the PSP version of WipeOut pulls with amazing HD textures and modernized menus, this might be the perfect pack for you. The game can now easily compete with the PS2 version, but comes with the bonus of a modern aspect ratio. If you ask me, it's simply the best of both worlds.
Race complete.
Now here's another Nintendo 64 game for you. Perfect Dark is one of the most impressive looking titles on the system. Everything but the controls have aged gracefully, and with a modern control scheme it's still very playable. This might be how you remember the game, but it's actually very different. I tried to feature some of the crazy detailed new textures that were implemented during my gameplay.
There's someone here.
The next title is a very obvious choice. Vanillaware games have always looked timeless, and Muramasa the Demon Blade is definitely no exception. You're looking at the emulated Wii version of the game, and despite the console's shortcomings, this modded version looks gorgeous and crisp, and probably no one who doesn't know the game would ever be able to guess when it was published. Just like the recently mentioned improvement package for WipeOut pulls, there's a similar upgrade for Soul Calibur Broken Destiny. The stunning new interface with sharper character portraits and AI-enhanced textures for the arenas and fighters is a massive improvement over the old PSP version.
Only the strongest will be chosen.
You better keep your guard up.
This is a real pain, you know? Battle 1. Fight! Battle 3. Fight! Ring out! You win!
There's no way that I can lose.
If you have never played Banjo-Kazooie, this might be the perfect version for you. Some people have a soft spot for old blurry N64 textures, but I prefer video games that don't look like giant checkerboard corridors filled with low-poly character models nodding their heads because they can't move their mouths. It's therefore even more surprising how many texture packs on this list are actually for games on the Nintendo 64. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time all offer fantastic gameplay experiences, but I'll always prefer the remastered and homebrew enhanced versions of those games. This is where Banjo-Kazooie HD Retextured enters the fray. It's like the perfect version we never would have gotten if it weren't for a very dedicated person or group who put their heart and soul into modernizing this dusty diamond. I thank you dearly, and if we are ranking these texture packs, this is definitely in the top 3. If you want to play Ocarina of Time, but you're still looking for the best possible version of the game, I have 2 recommendations for you. The first one is a source port called Ship of Harkinian. It's highly optimizable with adjustable controls, graphics and even character models. There are many tutorials on how to install and set it up in Android, and it's absolutely stunning. My other recommendation would be to simply use the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D HD texture pack and emulate the game with the Citra emulator. Just look at these graphics. It almost looks like a Switch game, and you can even set up a hotkey to toggle between inventory and gameplay screen or put them both side by side. The last texture pack I got for you is definitely one of the craziest things I have ever seen when it comes to retro gaming. I recently put this on my HD TV and couldn't trust my eyes. Every single playable Mario Kart character consists of roughly 1800 sprites of animation. Imagine someone remodeling and rendering those sprites to look like the render images on cover art and promo images for the game. Basically to make them look like they were intended to look. Did I oversell it, or are you equally blown away by this? I hope so, because I think this texture pack is really astonishing. Keep in mind, this is an augmented Nintendo 64 game with only resolution and texture tweaks. It's a massive achievement and makes me love this community of retrophiles even more. It also concludes my list of favorite texture packs, but as you can imagine, I'm always open for recommendations. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and until next time.